acknowledge that we were founded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Attawandaronk, the Mississauga and Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and now live on land that is home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We have many representatives working across this land now known as Ontario, and we acknowledge that there are 46 treaties and other agreements that cover the territory. We are grateful to be able to work and live on this land, and thankful to the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people who have cared for these territories since time immemorial, and who continue to contribute to the strength of Ontario and to all communities across the province. To continue to center reconciliation, we encourage our team, partners, students, and teachers to take time to learn about the lands they are currently on. Visit native-land.ca for more information.
All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Local Food Week, and welcome to our tour of the feed mill today. So my name is Madison. I'm your host from Agscape today, and I'm very excited to take you on a trip to go behind the scenes as well as meet some employees at Wallenstein, which is a feed mill located kind of near Elmira. So if anybody's near that area, feel free to put it in the chat, and we can call you out. So today we are going to be celebrating Local Food Week by learning all about how food is made for all different animals, such as cows, chickens, pigs, and many more. Here's some pictures so you can see kind of what this feed looks like, and then we'll learn all about how it's made. So here's our different animals. Awesome. So I did see a couple of people did respond to my question that I posted. What is a feed mill and why is it important? So we have a lot of great answers. So we need to feed our animals. Animals need food to survive. It's something that gives animals food. Animals need to be fed. It is true. And I like this one too. If animals don't get fed, then we wouldn't get fed either. Awesome. All right, so feel free to post any photos of your class watching our virtual field trip and tag us on social media or Farm and Food Care as well. Please put any questions you have right in the chat. We have awesome hosts that are ready to answer any questions that you have. All right, let's get right into it. So this is Sabina and Craig. So why don't you take over, introduce yourselves, and then we can go behind the scenes and learn all about how your feed is made.
Perfect. Thank you, Madison. So good morning, everyone. I hope you're all excited to go on a virtual tour of one of our feed mills here at Wallenstein Feed Supply. I'm Sabina Zachor-Mills, and I'm the one speaking in the videos that we're going to see shortly. I work at Wallenstein Feed as the sales support and communications specialist. My role includes sales support and communications, event planning, and promotions. Every day in my job looks different, from organizing the company's presence at trade shows, ordering cool merch, creating marketing materials for our sales divisions, planning banquets and touring customers through our mills, all the way to managing the website and posting on social media. So that being said, I didn't always know about this type of job or feed mills in general when I was your age. In high school, I knew I wanted to do something animal related. So I actually went to university with the goal of becoming a veterinarian. However, I decided early on that that wasn't the best fit for myself or my lifestyle, and started taking classes in animal nutrition, actually. So I studied nutrition for animals like pigs, chickens, and cattle, and finally ended up doing a master's degree in dairy cattle nutrition. When I was finishing my degree about 2 years ago, I heard about this job at Wallenstein and decided I would give it a try. I've been here ever since and really enjoy everything my position has to offer. And beside me is Craig Foster here, Wallenstein Feed's operations manager, and I'll let him introduce himself next.
Hi, so I'm Craig Foster. I'm the operations manager at Wallenstein Feed Supply. An operations manager manages the manufacturing facilities, the employees within it, make sure that everything is well maintained. I grew up on a farm west of the town of Linwood on a beef farm. I've been in agriculture my entire life, but I've been working in feed mills for 23 years now. What led me to being the operations manager at Wallenstein Feed was I actually worked as a millwright doing construction of feed mills when I was younger. And then that experience took me into Wallenstein Feed and Supply with the construction of Mill 4, and I haven't left since I started.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those intros. Now I think let's just go right into the video. We're going to do an intro and overview kind of the feed mills. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wallenstein Feed and Supply. First, I'm going to take you through our yard, where we have 3 feed mills on site. While we walk, I will give you a little bit more information about our operation here. Wallenstein Feed and Supply was started in 1958, so this is our 66th year in business. We started as a family business and still are today. Right now, we have 285 employees working either in the office, mills, or on the road as sales representatives or truck drivers. In the office, we have many departments such as nutrition, purchasing, customer care, accounting, IT, quality control, and HR. We make feed for a variety of different types of farm animals across Ontario. These include pigs, ruminant animals such as cattle, sheep, and goats, and poultry animals such as chickens, ducks, and turkeys. We have even made feed for animals like rabbits, horses, alpacas, llamas, and deer in the past. Here we have Mill 2, which was built in 1989 and is the oldest mill on site since the original mill, Mill 1, was taken down in 2017. Here we make feed mostly for chickens that lay the eggs you buy in the grocery store. We call these types of chickens layers. Mill 3 is the next mill on site, which you can see to the left. It was built in 2001. Here we mainly make feed for meat chickens, which are called broilers, as well as turkeys and pigs. Out of all the animals we feed, we make the most feed for broilers, so this mill makes the most out of all 3 on site. I'll speed up the video a little bit as we pass by Mill 2 and Mill 3 to get to our final destination, Mill 4, which is the newest mill on site. Here in front of us is Mill 4, which was opened in 2016. This is the mill we will be touring through today. Here we make all of our feed for ruminant animals like dairy cows, beef cows, goats, and sheep. We also make pig feed, some poultry feed, and all of our feed that comes in bags. We are now approaching our scale house, where every truck delivering ingredients needs to go first. We have to test every truckload of ingredients before using them to make feed, to ensure that they are good enough quality. If not, we won't accept the load. Here is an example of a truckload of corn being delivered to us. We have a special probe that sucks a sample of it into our lab for testing. We will take 2 to 6 samples per truck. This video is showing how the probe takes those samples. To make feed for so many different animals, we need a variety of ingredients. We actually use over 200 ingredients between all our feeds. The top 3 ingredients we buy are corn, wheat, and soybean meal, which is a byproduct that gets produced when soybean oil is made for humans. Another common byproduct we use in animal feed is bakery meal. This is a mixture of things like breads, crackers, chips, cookies, and other related food products that are no longer sellable to us humans. Once these items are mixed, ground up, and dried, they can be used as a nutritious component in animal feed. Over the years, we have made over 2,000 types of feeds for farm animals with a mixture of different ingredients in them. Now we are going to enter the lab, where the multiple samples from this truck will be mixed together and tested for things like moisture levels, fines, and toxins. A red circle will show you exactly where the probe delivers these samples into the lab. If the ingredients in the truck meet our quality standards, we then tell the truck driver to bring them to either Mill 2, 3, or 4, depending on our inventory counts.
All right, awesome. That was a lot of great information, and we do have some questions. If anybody has questions, put them in the chat. We'll do a Q&A after each video. All right. So this is an interesting one. I don't know if you'll have an answer for this one. So we have a student wondering how someone got the idea to start the feed mill so long ago.
Yeah, I don't think I do have an answer for that. Well, I guess I can talk a little bit about the history of Wallenstein Feed. The father of our general manager right now, our general manager is Rick Martin, and his father, Lloyd Martin, his father actually owned the general store just across the street. And then Lloyd got the idea to start selling bagged feed at the general store. And that was going really well. And so he decided to buy the feed mill across the street, which was then called Riverside Feed. And that was the original Wallenstein Feed.
Cool.
So I don't know if that fully answers the question, but a little history there.
How about this one? Why do you think the buildings are green? Is that just a choice?
That is actually, as Sabina mentioned, Lloyd, the founder of Wallenstein Feed Supply, his favorite color was green. So that's why they are green.
Awesome.
It's a really good question. I had that one when I started as well.
All right. Got a couple questions in this one. What do you have standard recipes for feed? Or do you have standard recipes for feed? Or do people order what they want? Is there a minimum for a custom order?
So first answer there, we do have standard recipes for certain types of animals like chickens and pigs. There'd be standard recipes, but then we can customize within that. So we can add different vitamins and minerals that they would want for that selection of feed. They're allowed to order any type of feed within those standard ones. We do custom feeds for those species as well. When you get into like dairy cows and animals like that, all the feeds we're making are more customized for what is going on to the farm because we're only feeding a small portion of what that cow eats, whereas there's feedstuffs like hay and silage on farm that would be making the rest of the ration that animal's eating. So we don't restrict people. They can order what they want. Minimum order size for bulk, which means it's not in a bag. So it goes out on a truck just loose. That is 2 ton.
Awesome. All right. I like this.
2 metric ton.
Lily wonders, what is your favorite animal that you make feed for?
I don't know that I'm supposed to pick favorites because I don't want any customers to be upset. I grew up on a beef farm, so I'm always going to have a soft spot for cows.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I have my background in dairy nutrition, so I have a soft spot for dairy cows too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But love all the animals.
All right, let's do one more question and then we can get into our next video. Right. So, Eliane asks, what does toxic mean?
About like toxic.
What does toxic mean? So when we're segregating corn based on toxins, there's a mold that grows on the corn that can create adverse effects in the animals. So in some of the animals like pigs, it causes issues when the sows are pregnant, or it can stop them from getting pregnant. Other ones like pigs are a very smart animal. They'll actually not eat it if there's too high a level of toxins. And then it's like anything else. If you get too high a level of toxins, animals could ultimately die. So we really want to try and not have that happen.
Awesome. So you do all that testing to make sure that your feed is nice and safe.
Yes.
And it is interesting to hear that the animal itself would notice if there was too much of that in it. That's very cool. All right, let's get into our next video. All right, here we go.
Each of our mills have 2 receiving pits that look very similar. This is one in Mill 4. The ones in Mill 4 are fully enclosed to reduce dust and light pollution. Since some of the ingredients we use are quite dusty, we have a dust collection system in place. Each of these pits can receive about 3 full dump trucks per hour. The ingredients enter the mill through a pit in the floor, then are immediately elevated to the top of the mill where they are stored in ingredient bins. Not all our feed ingredients that we use are received in bulk, though. Many come to us in bags or totes. These ingredients include our special additives and medications that we add to feed in smaller quantities. We store them in special bins in the floor, shown here. The scales below these bins are extremely accurate and can measure between 1 and 20 gram increments. Here is what the inside of one of these micro bins looks like. The ingredient in this one is crystal toffee, which is a flavoring agent. We also have some liquid ingredients, like molasses, that are stored in big tanks in the basement. You can see them here. Next, I'll take you into the control room, where the process of feed manufacturing starts. Here on the whiteboards, we display all the ingredients that are stored in Mill 4 and can be used to make feed here. To make feed, we first weigh out how much we need of each ingredient, based off the recipe, or ration as we call it. These rations are created by our nutritionists that work in the office. Then we mix everything together in a big mixer, which I circled here in red. Some feeds are ready to be delivered to the farm right after being mixed, but others have to be further pelleted or crumbled depending on the farmer's preference or the type of animal eating the feed. That's what the person on the left-hand side of the control room here is working on. This next video is showing our pellet lines. In Mill 4, we have 4 of these that can pellet feed simultaneously. Pellets can be made in a variety of lengths to accommodate the size of animal eating them. They can also be further broken down into smaller crumbles for animals like small chicks. To make pellets from mixed feed, first we need to add steam to the mixture, which happens in a compartment called the conditioner, circled here. Then the mix is pushed through a die to create the pellet shape. I added a photo of how this looks so you have an idea of what I mean. Immediately after the pellets are cut from the die at the desired length, they fall into coolers below. Coolers bring air from outside and push it up through the pellets as they fall into the cooler. This video will show you what the coolers look like when at work. Once the pellets are cooled, they are either broken down further into small crumbles, or if they're ready to be delivered on farm as is, elevated to the top of the mill where they are stored in bins that can either be accessed when loading the feed into a truck or bagging it. We will see the loadout and bagging processes in the next set of videos.
All right, awesome. So we do have some more questions. Feel free to send in more, though, to those teachers and students watching. And yeah, that was an awesome video to get behind the scenes to see kind of how the shape is formed, which is cool. All right, here's a question for you. How do you help farmers choose the best feed for their animals?
So we would have sales reps that would be very knowledgeable about specific species or animals that would be going around to the farms and helping them select that feed. But then we also have 17 nutritionists on staff that also would specifically know those animals that would be helping the sales reps then select the diets.
Awesome. Gordon wonders if you have animals there as well as the feed.
No, we don't have any animals on site here, and Wallenstein Feed does not own any animals as well.
You don't have a little pet or anything.
No.
All right. The grade 5-6 class would like to know, how much feed do you sell per year?
So this year we are on pace for 890,000 metric ton of feed, which would be close to 25% of the Ontario feed market.
Wow.
Yeah, and in the next set of videos, we're gonna see some stats on how much we made last year and how much we make on a daily basis as well.
All right, this one also might be covered in the next video, but how many truckloads do you send out each day?
Did you cover that in the video?
Yes, it is. About 85 truckloads.
85. Wow. All right.
But there's multiple orders on those trucks, so amounts to a little over 250 feed orders a day.
Wow. Do you have feed for different ages of animals?
Yeah, totally. Different ages of animals have different nutritional requirements. So there'd be different diets, but then even, which is probably covered in the video too, There's different texture sizes. So like a baby chicken is a lot smaller than a big chicken. So when we pellet feed, we actually grind it down into a smaller size so that the baby chickens can eat it. So it's not only different nutritionally, it's different in size as well.
Awesome. This is a great question. Why are all of the machines so big?
Because we want to get a lot done, I guess. Like we're a large manufacturing facility that does high volume. So that means we make lots of feed in a year. And in order to do that, we need big machines.
Absolutely. All right, let's do one more and then we will get into our next video.
Yeah, I was also going to add, it's quite loud in the mills as well. That's also why I muted all the videos and I'm speaking over them because big machines are creating a lot of noise. So I helped you a little bit by not having to hear all of that.
Absolutely. All right, and how many bins do you have?
So there's different types of bins. There's silos that hold grain, which would be very large. There's ingredient bins that are in the mill that are holding bulk ingredients, which would be 70 ton of product. And then we have micro bins that are holding a few kilos of vitamins or minerals that would go into the feed as well. So when you add all of them up, we would have hundreds and hundreds of bins on this site.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you for answering those questions. Let's get into the next video and then we'll do more questions.
In the next few videos, I'm going to show you how we prepare feed to be delivered on farm to farmers. The majority of the feed we make is sent out in bulk. This video will show you how a truck driver loads their truck with bulk feed. As you can see, there are multiple different compartments that can hold different feeds, since sometimes a driver will deliver to multiple farms in a row before coming back to the mill to refill their truck. In our loadouts, we use a cool conveyor system, so these compartments can all be filled without having to actually move the truck. Wallenstein Feed Supply is a pretty large-scale feed mill in Ontario. Last year, we made over 877,000 metric tons of feed. Since 1 metric ton is equal to 1,000 kilograms, or just over 2,200 pounds, that would be over 1,933,454,039 pounds. An average elephant weighs 5 metric tons, or 5,000 kilograms, so it's like the weight of 175,400 elephants. That sure is a lot. On a daily basis, we make over 2,800 tons of feed, which is equal to 6,172,943 pounds, or 560 elephants. Last year, we even figured out how many individual animals we fed, and the number was about 96.9 million. We can also put our feed into bags and sell it that way. However, bagged feed only accounts for about 1% of our production. Here's a video of what our bagging process looks like. Although our feed manufacturing is all automatic, our bagging is done manually. Here, we have staff who fill the bags with feed and help sew on the product tag, which tells the farmer what type of feed it is, since all the bags look the same. We have a big robot arm at the end, which stacks the filled bags onto skids for delivery. We also have another robot arm that wraps these skids in plastic to keep the bags secure. The last option we have for packaging our feed is in totes. Totes are like really large bags, accommodating almost 1,000 kilograms or 2,200 pounds of feed. This video shows how we fill tote bags. Every day, we send out over 250 orders of various sizes to farms across the province, as well as to other businesses that sell our feed to their own networks. We have 50 trucks, which drive enough to go around the globe every 2 days. We have 115 drivers, some working during the day and some even working overnight.
Awesome. I cannot believe you send out 560 elephants worth of food every single day. That is a lot.
It's a hard calculation to make.
The conversion works. I need to know how many elephants it is. That's awesome. All right, we have a lot of great questions, so let's just get right into them. Right? Do you have to send different feed if animals are pregnant? For example, pigs.
Yeah. So there would be different feeds for animals if they're pregnant based on nutritional requirements. Totally.
Awesome. You guys take a lot of factors into account when you're feeding these animals. That's great. All right. This one was said, but I just want it to be reiterated because it's a really high number. How many animals do you feed per year?
I kind of forget that exact number, but I think it was around last year. Our general manager made the calculation for me. I think it was around 95 million animals, but it was in that last video there.
Yes, about 95 million.
So I thought that was a really interesting fact when he told me that.
Absolutely. And how much feed would be in one truck?
Our biggest trucks are 40 ton.
40 tons. Okay. And do you only make food for farm animals?
That is correct. We only feed farm animals. We don't get into any pets or anything else.
That makes sense. Awesome. What happens if a machine breaks while making the feed?
We have, it depends on the machine. We have a boiler room that we would have 4 full-time engineers that work in there that could fix the boilers. And then we also have 7 full-time millwrights on staff. So if a machine breaks while we're making the feed, they would go in and fix the machine. We try to get the machine running again. If any of the feed is contaminated with anything, that feed will be thrown out.
Sounds like you got a lot of help in case that happens.
Yeah.
We need to with how much feed we're making.
Absolutely. All right, let's do 2 more questions, then we'll get into the last video. How long does it take to build a feed mill?
Around 26 months is what the current build is. Like we're currently working on our 5th mill on the site, 4th that's active still. And it's around 26 months for that build on that one.
Okay, so just over 2 years. Wow.
We're going to see the construction site for that in the next video, actually.
Perfect. And we have a question actually about that too. So that's perfect. So last question. Do you ship any feed to other countries?
Yes, but the majority of the farms we feed are actually in Ontario. We do have one customer down in Trinidad that we send a container load of feed to, and then we do send some premix to Slovakia, but the majority of our customers are actually located in Ontario.
Nice. Awesome. So this is the last video. It's just a short one on the storage. All right, here we go.
Next, I will show you our Mill 4 warehouse, which you saw a bit of in the last video since it's where our bagging takes place. Every mill on site has a warehouse, but this one is the largest. We store over 400 ingredients and floor-stocked bagged feeds here, as well as prepare pickup bag orders in the back. Now that you know what our Wallenstein feed bags look like, you'll recognize them as I walk through the warehouse here. To give you all a cool view of our yard, I actually took an elevator to the very top of Mill 4 to show you a bird's eye view of Mills 2 and 3. I also wanted to show you a huge project we have been working on for the past year, the construction of Mill 5. Mill 5 should be finished at the end of summer 2025, so it still has a ways to go. I hope you all enjoyed our virtual tour today and learned a little something about the agriculture industry.
Awesome. So yeah, you saw that mill being built there, so that answered someone's question. If we're going to be building another mill, so there you go. All right, so we do have some more questions. Let's just do a couple, and then unfortunately we have to say goodbye to everyone soon. All right. This is an interesting question. Why do your bags look like yard waste bags?
That's more of a marketing question to me. No, we haven't changed the bag style in quite a few years, and it's just the traditional look.
Fair enough. All right.
To us, they don't look like yard waste bags.
Are there treats that you make, like candy for animals?
No, we don't get any treats for animals. No.
All right. Lily wonders, do you make donkey food?
No, I don't actually know what a donkey would specifically eat, like if it would eat the same as what a horse would. We do make a limited amount of horse feed, but it's not something we do a lot of.
Okay, I'm not sure if you'll know this question, but you know how much feed a cow would eat in a day?
No, I don't know that one offhand. I'd have to look that one up.
Yeah, it depends on how much forage they're eating from the farm and the amount of our feed that goes into that. It can depend on the size of the animal and the production of that animal, whether they're pregnant, whether they're lactating, all that type of thing. But it is quite a lot.
All right, let's do a couple more. Here we go. How long does the feed last for? Does it go bad?
It could go bad, yes. Like we have a shelf life of our products that we would store in our warehouse of 3 months before we're gonna rework it. Generally, we're going to farms every other week, so the feed is nice and fresh on farm.
Awesome. All right, let's do our last question here. What's the square footage of the mill and how much land does it require?
So our property we're on is 28 acres at this location. I don't know the square footage offhand of the mills.
But it's big. We saw big. In that aerial view, they're quite big.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do this last question because I'm curious about this one. Do you make food for ducks?
Yeah, we do. We actually make lots of food for ducks.
Awesome.
It's duck food is very similar to chicken food, just a little bit different in the texture requirements.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's unfortunately all we have time for. Thank you, everyone that put your questions in the chat. They were all great, and we didn't even get around to all of them. Thank you, Sabina and Craig, for answering all of our questions and teaching us all about the feed mill, letting us go behind the scenes. It's really great to be thinking about the importance of feed mills such as yours during Local Food Week, because then we can understand all the work that's put into feeding animals and for keeping our food system secure. Thank you, everyone that joined us today. We loved having you. Sabina and Craig, is there anything you want to say to those watching before we say goodbye officially?
I just wanted to say thanks for joining us today, and I hope you learned something new about feed mills or animal nutrition in general. And yeah, just thanks again for tuning in.
All right, awesome. Goodbye, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Local Food Week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.